Do you know the two biggest problems for marine sales professionals around the world? My name is Vincent Finiti from Yacht Sales Academy, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the two biggest problems that sales professionals, whether they're selling boats, yacht, super yacht, equipment, charter, are facing. Pay attention to these videos, that will help you a lot. Problem number one, I'm going to write it here. Huge problem. Unfortunately, you see this being taught in majority of the sales books out there. Majority of the sales professionals are being taught this, and it's called the win-win situation. The win-win situation, I know it's counterintuitive what I'm going to tell you, but this is one of the worst piece of advice that you can receive. Why? It's very simple. When you're in a win-win position, you're not client advocate. You're protecting your own interest, and your clients can, your prospect or clients can sense this, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. So you don't want to have a win-win attitude. You want to have 100% win attitude for your clients. You need to protect their own interest. Here is a big problem we have. Go on the dictionary, look at the definition of customer, and look at the definition of client. A customer is someone you do business in exchange for money for a product or a service. But what is a client? A client is someone you're advocating for. It's someone that is under your own care, under your own protection. In the finance world, they're talking about fiduciary. It's someone that you have the moral obligation to protect their own interest. And unfortunately, in the boating industry, we have way too many sales professionals that have this win-win in mind. They just want to make a quick commission. They say, oh, I want the clients to have some good time on the water and I'm be happy, I make my commission. You cannot operate like this. You need to be fully dedicated to your clients. There is this one quote that I love from Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks. He's saying, we're not in the coffee business serving people. We are in the people business serving coffee. That's what this industry should be. This boating industry should be an industry of people, not an industry of boats. So talking about boats now, I want to tell you something. The second big problem, this is a big disease. I call this a big disease. There is a big disease in the boating industry. What is that big disease? We are all too much product-centric and not client-centric. What do I mean by this? Everyone is claiming to be number one. We have the number one product, we're the number one firm, we're the number one in sales, number one. Do you know who is the real number one in the boating industry? Those are the people buying the boats, because without them, this entire industry would not be working. So I want you to stop being product-centric, and I want you to be client-centric, not customer-centric, client-centric. Now here's a problem talking about product. According to the International Council of Marine Industry Association, around the world there are 25,000 companies building like shipyard and equipment company. So it's literally a minefield for customers and also for sales professionals, because there is so many products out there. If you're selling cars, there is a handful car company you can compete with, but in the boating industry there are so many shipyards. Let's say you want to build a super yacht. Over than 24 meters. There is over 1,000 shipyards around the world that could, as of today, build you a boat. I remember hearing, I think it was at the end of 2008, just in the northern Italy, there were just 800 shipyards being able to build recreational vessels. So this created a lot of confusion for customers, but this created a lot of confusion for clients. For sales professionals too. I don't want you to be product-centric. I want you to be client-based. I know you have this desire to know everything about your product. I remember when I started in the boating industry, I was working in a boating factory, and every morning I was going to work, I always had books about how I wanted to learn everything about boats, right? And one day I talked to my boss. He was the owner of the shipyard. He was a very successful businessman. And he told me, why do you keep reading all those books? And I was telling him, well, because I want to become a boat salesman one day and I want to know everything about boats. And I remember precisely what he told me. He said, you don't need to know everything about boats if you want to sell boats. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you, I want you to sell boats and not know anything. You need to know majority of the boats, majority of the systems on board, how they operate, but you don't need to obsess about product. But there is one thing you need to obsess about is client. You have to be client focused. So For that regard, today I'm going to walk you through how to have a client-based presentation. What does that mean? When you're presenting a product to the clients, how you can focus your presentation towards the customer, the client, and not toward the product itself. So, I have a boat here, Mangusta 108. I want you to imagine that I will sell this boat to my clients. And I have a visit. Whether it can be a small boat or a big boat. Okay, I happen to have a big maquette, but I can bring a small boat too. What are the 5 things? I'm going to teach you today 5 things that I want you to do in order to be very effective and have a client-based presentation. So I'm going to write that on 5 things. Number 1, the why. You're going to start with the why. Let's say I'm trying to sell this boat at the Monaco Yacht Show, and at the Monaco there is 111 boats on display. I will ask my clients, great, welcome to see the Mangusta 108. I'm so glad you're here today. But I'm curious, there are 111 yachts at the Monaco Yacht Show. Why you wanted to visit this boat specifically, this Mangusta 108 specifically? You're going to ask the why question. The why question. Or if you're selling a boat online and you get an inquiries from Yacht World, you can say, hey, there are 67,883 boats on Yacht World right now. I'm curious as to why you inquire about this model. The why question is number 1. Number 2, the what question. So what's a what question? Before you even bring them on board, right? Let's say I just invite them on board. They're walking here up the stairs. And we're here on the cockpit, and I ask them, well, before I show you this wonderful Mangusta 108, there are hundreds of great things I can tell you about this boat, but what is the most important thing in a boat for you? What? The what question. What is the most important thing in a boat for you? And based on their response, I'm going to base my presentation, because it's going to be a client-based presentation, not a product-based presentation. Number 3, the why is it important to you? Now let's say they're telling me it's the engines, or let's say they're telling me it's a living space in the main living area. Instead of saying, great, let's go there, I'm going to ask, why is it important to you? Why? So maybe this person will tell me, well, because I want to use this boat for business, and I have my business associate, I want to have meetings with them, so I need a lot of space to work, or I need a lot of space to entertain them. Why? Right? I want to know the why, or why of the what. Next, I'm going to teach you 2 more quick things about the client-based presentation. I want to talk to you about the macaron technique. You know the French macaron? I'm not sure if there's 2C or 2O. The macaron. Why? A macaron is like a little layer of cream with like 2 kind of like sandwich biscuits, right? That's the same thing. When you present a feature on a boat, you don't just say the benefit of it. You involve the clients, you say the benefits, and you involve the clients. So let's go back to here. The client tells me what's the most important thing to them is the living space. I can say something like, every time you're going to be in the living area, you're going to have a smile on your face, because one of the great things about this is like the indoor-outdoor feeling, the al fresco feeling. Look at the size of those folding doors, the 4 folding doors that are fully opening. You're going to have this indoor-outdoor feeling, and you're going to have a great visibility. And they are very easy to open. Here you go, try it. Try open them. What did I do here? I told them that one of the great things about this boat, implying that there are many more about this area, was the fully opening doors. I tell them that they're going to love it because they get this al fresco indoor-outdoor feeling. And I involve them and said, try how easy it is to open them, right? Or I can tell them, this is useful to you because. This is useful to you because. Not just, this is amazing. This is useful to you because, right? So the macaron technique, remember, you involve them before and after every time you present a benefit. And number 5, the emotional. We're going to talk about the emotional closing. One of the main things you notice here is every time are trying to reach the emotional area in their brain. Why? Because people, the boating industry is an industry of emotion. The luxury industry is an industry of emotion. So if you want to sell a product, you have to reach the area in the brain that is responsible for their emotion. You cannot, when people are buying a boat, they are looking around at the rational level, but they are going to make the decision to buy at the emotional level. So I'm going to give you an emotional close, the emotional close. Do you think, so let's say I show them this boat and they really love it. I can say, do you think that might be the right boat for you? If they tell me yes, I look at them and I say, why do you feel it is? Why do you feel it is? Now what's going to happen is they are going to convince themselves on the fact that this is the right boat for you. They are going to tell me, they're going to access the emotional area in their brain and tell me exactly why it's a powerful, why they love this boat and why they are emotionally attached to this boat. And nothing is more convincing than having them convince themselves that this is the right boat for them. So we are in an industry of emotion. The two biggest mistakes, the win-win and the big disease. Don't be product-centric, be client-centric. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about how to sell boats, I help sales professionals every month. I have my workshop. I also do custom workshop. But the way I do is I bring them the 8 steps to high performance in boat sales. Number 1, mindset. Number 2, personal branding. Number 3, getting listings. Number 4, content creation. Number 5, getting leads. Number 6, showings and salesmanship. Number 7, follow-up and closing. And finally, number 8, client retention and referrals. I will also like you to access my scorecard. I have a free scorecard that you can take on the website Yacht Academy, where you can assess your current skills based on those 8 steps, and also where you want to, like your goals on those 8 steps. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to contact me if you have any questions. Make sure to download the free scorecard. Have a wonderful day. Leave a comment below. Talk to you soon.